Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video presentation, I will be discussing statics of rigid bodies. So incorporated siya dun sa subject ko na civil engineering problem or correlations na kung saan ay review subjects for graduating students. And also, I think makakatulong din sa mga estudyante na under statics of rigid bodies. No? So I do hope na itong video presentation ko is makatulong. So ito is lecture 1 pa lang. So first part pa lang siya ng statics of rigid bodies. So ang topic coverage natin is principles of statics, historical developments, kung saan ba nag-start or kung paano nag-develop yung statics. Then definition of terms and basic concepts. No? So kung ano yung mga terms na need ninyong malaman tungkol sa subjects na to at yung mga basic concepts na magagamit nyo din all throughout the lessons ng statics. Then number 2, scalars and vectors. Number 3 is Newton's law of motions. So historical development. So the subjects of statics develops very early in history because its principles can be formulated simply from measurements of geometry and forces. So kumbaga si history ni statics is matagal na siyang ginagamit actually ng mga ninuno natin na kung saan ay sa paggawa ng pyramid, paggawa ng sphinx, paggawa ng early houses nila, ginagamit na agad yung statics kasi syempre pag pull or pag lift pa lang nung stone blocks as well as yung pag-transport or pag-transfer ng mga materials is incorporated doon yung statics, no? Pero sumikat lang yung term na statics during Archimedes time, during 287 to 212 BC, na kung saan pinag-aralan niya yung principle ng lever, pulley, inclined plane, and wrenches, no? Then, during the time of Galileo Galilei in 1564 to 1642, isa din siya sa mga major contributor dun sa field ng statics na kung saan ay in-experiment niya yung pendulum and free falling bodies, no? At mas pinaigting pa ito ni Isaac Newton. Kumbaga pinagpatuloy ni Isaac Newton yung pag-aaral ni Galilei from 1642 to 1727, na kung saan mas lalong nakilala si Isaac Newton dahil dun sa formulate niya na three fundamental laws of motions, no? Then dun sa from the three fundamentals law of motions, yung mga scientists natin is nakagawa or nakapag-formulate or postulate ng mga important techniques sa application ng mga uh, three fundamental laws of motions, no? Kung gaya ni Euler's, ni Albert Lagrange, and iba pang mga scientists na madadaanan din natin sa statics, mababanggit kumbaga. Definition of terms. Engineering or engineer is defined as profession in which the knowledge of mathematical and natural science gained by study, practice, and experience is applied with judgment in order to develop ways to utilize economically the materials and forces of nature for the benefits of mankind. So, engineering or engineer, ito yung profession na kung saan ay ina-apply natin yung principles at saka yung mga knowledge natin sa mathematics and natural sciences into experience and practice, no? Na kung saan ay tayo bilang isang engineer, tayo yung nag-decide kung ano bang materials ang pwedeng gamitin para dito, kung gaano ba karami, no? So tayo ang nagde-decide or tayo yung profession natin is yun yung mga nagbibigay ng technical advice para dun sa mga ganong bagay, no? Na kung saan ay dapat iniisip din natin na itong materials na to is mas economical or mas makakamura yung may-ari. So yun yung natin, trabaho. Pero syempre sa pagpili din ng materials, dapat safe din po yung materials na gagamitin natin, no? Dun sa forces of nature na mapupunta dun sa materials na yon. Mechanics. Mechanics is study of forces. It is the science that deals with the action of forces on the bodies and describes or predict the conditions of rest or motion bodies acted upon the forces. So, yung study of forces is mechanics, simply mechanics. Engineering mechanics may be defined as the science which considers the effect of forces of rigid bodies, or is a branch of mechanics, which deals with the study of forces in relation to the problems with engineering applications. So, kumbaga yung engineering mechanics is pinagsama yung definition ng engineering at mechanics kanina. So, si mechanics is the study of forces, si engineering is the professions of applying or application nung natutunan mo sa mathematics tsaka natural science. So, kumbaga, pagsamahin mo lang siya, so si engineering mechanics is a branch of mechanics that deals with the study of forces in relation to problems with engineering applications. Then, other branches of mechanics na hindi naman directly related sa engineering is yung celestial mechanics and quantum mechanics. So, celestial mechanics is the study of motions of heavenly bodies such as planets, satellites, stars moving in gravitational fields of forces. Then, si quantum mechanics is a branch of mathematical physics that deals with the motions of electrons, protons, neutrons, and subatomic particles. So, basic concepts. So, ito yung mga madalas madadaanan natin all throughout sa computations ng statics. So, si space. Space is the geometric regions occupied by bodies whose positions are described by linear and angular measurements relative to the coordinate systems. For three-dimensional problems, three independent coordinates. For two-dimensional problems, only two coordinates are required. So, space. Kumbaga, yan yung plane. Kumbaga, may 2D, may 3D space tayo na pag-aaralan dito, no? Then, time. Time is the measure of succession of events and is a basic quantity in dynamics. Time is not directly involved in the analysis of statics problem. So, time. No, common sense na lang yung, yung definition ng time. Okay, so si mass is a measure of the inertia of a body, which is its resistance to change of velocity. Mass can also be thought of as the quality of matter in a body. So the mass of a body affects the gravitational attraction force uh, between it and the other bodies. This force appears in many applications in statics. So di ba nga, si force is equivalent kay mass times acceleration. So madalas na pag-uusapan natin yung force dito sa statics. So yung force is nanggaling din sa mass, no? Multiplied by the acceleration or the gravitational acceleration, which is 9.81 para makakuha ka ng force. Then, yun nga, force is the action of one body on another. A force tends to move a body in a direction of its action. The action of the force is characterized by its magnitude, by the direction of its action, and by its point of application. So, si force is madalas makikita natin to dito. So, represented by arrows. So, all throughout the computations, makakakita kayo ng mga forces sa statics. No? Si force is an action of one body to another. Then, particle is a body of negligible dimensions. In the mathematical sense, a particle is a body whose dimensions are considered to be near zero so that we may analyze it as a mass concentrated at a point. So, kumbaga si particles is parang simply a point lang. Kumbaga, point of application ng force, no, kung saan ay doon nag-act yung force natin sa particle. So, tawag doon is a particle. We often choose a particle as differential elements of a body. So we may treat a body as a particle when its dimensions are relevant to the descriptions of its positions or actions of forces applied to it. So yun yung particles. Si rigid body naman, a rigid body is considered rigid when a change in distance between any two of its point is negligible for the purpose at hand. So, for instance, the calculations of the tensions in the cable which supports the boom of a mobile crane under loads is essentially unaffected by the small internal deformations in the structure members of the boom. So, si rigid body naman is yun yung consider na yung change lang dun sa materials natin is sobrang minimum or kumbaga minimal, sobrang negligible to identify na, no? For example, yung beam, yun sabi nga dito, yung tension cable. So, pag binatak natin yon, kumbaga hindi natin mapapansin na may deflection or may thermal expansion na nangyayari dun sa cable natin. Same din sa beam. So, pag beam ang pinag-uusapan natin, di ba may compression tension yun. So, may part doon na kung saan ay nagkakaroon ng elongation or kasi nga, pag nababatak or nalalagyan ng loads. Pero, negligible na siya kumbaga hindi na natin siya mapapansin kasi nga, hindi naman siya ma-identify ng naked eye natin. Pero sa computations, nako-compute po natin siya, no? Then, scalar and vector. So, si scalar is a quantity uh, which only has a magnitude, no? So, kapag sinabing scalar, may magnitude ka lang. For example, ng scalar quantities ay yung time, volume, density, speed, energy, and mass. No? Kumbaga, si scalar is yung single ano na siya, single unit. Pero may mga vectors din naman kasi na single units. Pero si scalar is yun yung kung ma-identify mo lang is magnitude lang siya, no? Vector is a quantity on the other hand possesses direction as well as the magnitude. So kumbaga si vector naman is combination siya ng magnitude at saka ng direction. So example ng vector quantities are displacement, velocity, acceleration, force, moment, and momentum. So si velocity ay identified siya as meter per second. So meron tayong magnitude in meter, tapos yung direction niya is syempre kung yun ba ay pa atras, paabante, or papunta sa left, sa right, up or down, di ba? Same din sa acceleration forces, no? So makikita natin agad yung direction or yung line of action ng vectors, ng quantities na yun. So tinatawag siya as vector quantities. So vector parallelogram law of combinations. So this law states that two vectors v1 and v2 treated as a free vector may be replaced by their equivalent vector v, which is the diagonal of the parallelogram formed by v1 and v2 as its two sides. So explanation lang naman yan is kung meron tayong dalawang velocity which is v1 and v2, we can consider or kumbaga pwede natin siyang palitan ng single vector lang or single velocity lang, no? So, mapo-form siya into ganito. So, kung ito may V1 ka dito and V2 dito, pagsasamahin mo lang tong V1 and V2 dito sa pangalawang figure, then kung ano po yung diagonal na makikita mo dito, yun po yung magiging single equivalent vector or single equivalent velocity itong V1 and V2, no? So, yung V1 ay V2, pwede mo siyang i-transfer din dito at yung V1 is i-transfer doon. So, kumbaga makakabuo ka ng parallelogram, no? So, yun yung tinatawag na vector parallelogram law of combination. So, yung vector parallelogram law of combinations, mamaya makikita nyo kung paano yung kinukompute or paano ginagawa sa computations natin. Then, let's go with the Newton's three law of motions. So, engineering mechanics is formulated on the basis of Newton's three law of motions, the validity of which is based on experimental observation. This law apply to the motion of a particle as measured from a accelerating reference frame. They may be briefly stated as. So, ito yung three law of motions natin. So, first law, a particles originally at rest or moving in a straight line with constant velocity tends to remain in this stage provided the particle is not subjected to an unbalanced force, no? Kumbaga sinasabi lang din sa first law, the object remain at rest will be remain at rest, or kumbaga the particles that is moving will remain moving unless it is acted upon by another particles or another unbalanced force, no? So kumbaga dito, an object at rest will remains at rest. Kumbaga yung bola na yan, kung walang gagalaw yan, hindi naman gagalaw yan, di ba? So unless acted upon by the unbalanced force. So kapag sinipa mo yan, syempre yung bola gagalaw, no? At patuloy na didiretso yung bola niyan kasi nga moving at a straight line will with constant velocity. So kumbaga tuloy-tuloy yan na natatakbo yung bola kapag sinipa mo. Pero syempre, kapag nag-act or may another action of unbalanced force, titigil yun. Or kung ganito, may net, tumigil yung bola, no? Same din sa gravity. So kung ito ay may gravity dito sa bola natin, syempre titigil siya or hihina din yung velocity natin, no? So kumbaga yung first law of motion, the object at rest will remain at rest, the object at motion will remain in motion unless acted upon by external or unbalanced force, no? Then the second law of motion is a particle acted upon by an unbalanced force F experience an acceleration A that has the same direction as the force and a magnitude that is directly proportional to the force. So if F is applied to the particle of a mass This law may be expressed mathematically as F is equivalent kay mass times acceleration. So, si second law of motion is simply the force is equivalent kay mass times acceleration. Kung ano yung bigat ng isang bagay, tapos kung gaano kabilis yung takbo, or kung paano siya nag-accelerate, multiply mo lang yun yung force na na-applied mo dun sa isang bagay. No? Then, third law of motion. So, the mutual forces of action and the reaction between two particles are equal and opposite and collinear. No? So napakaganda ng third law of motion. No? Sana to lahat applicable. No? Kumbaga kahit sa love, applicable sana tong third law of motion. No? Na kung saan kapag crush mo siya, pwede kang i-crush back. Kasi nga, sa third law of motions, yung mutual force na in-applied mo dun sa isang bagay is same din na ibabalik sa'yo. Kumbaga, kapag tinulak mo yung pinto ng 40 kilonewton, ibabalik ng pinto yun ng 40 kilonewton sa'yo, or nagre-react din siya ng 40 kilonewton. So, same din sana sa love, no? Kapag binahal mo siya, sana binalik niya din yung pagmamahal, no? Ng equal, no? Pero minsan hindi yun nangyayari, no? Okay. So, Newton's law of gravitational attraction. So, shortly after formulating these three law of motions, Newton's postulated a law governing the gravitational attractions between any two particles state mathematically as force gravitational is equivalent kay G, or universal constant gravitational, which is equivalent kay 66.73 times 10 raised to negative 12 meter cube per kilogram second squared. Then, ME is equivalent kay mass of Earth yan, or mass ng isang bagay. Then, MM is mass of Moon, kasi Moon ang dito, or either another mass, no? Then, R squared is the radius or the distance between the two particles, no? So, later, ko sa inyo kung paano yan kinukompute, no? Okay, so itong mga table na to is mga constant values lang naman siya na kailangan mo lang tandaan, or kumbaga kapag sa exam is binibigay naman siya, no? So ito yung mga density in kilogram per meter cube at saka specific weight in pound per feet cube. Then solar system constant, so yung mga G gravitational constant, yung mass ng Earth, no? Nandyan din. Pero usually binibigay naman siya kapag sa exam, no? Okay. So, numerical calculation. So, ito yung mga lang naman to. Kumbaga additional lang to dun sa topic coverage natin. So, kumbaga pahapyaw lang to kapag tayo ay nasa design subject kasi computations. Kailangan medyo precise tayo kapag tayo ay nagko-compute. Kapag sinabi ni instructor or ni professor na dapat 4 decimal places lang yung natin, is dapat kino-compute natin yung natin ng 4 decimal places. Or kapag tayo ay nag-round off, so dapat dito is natin. Kumbaga, simpleng reminders lang to. So, in numerical calculations, dimensions homogeneity. So, the terms of any equations used to describe a physical process must be dimensionally homogeneous. That as each term must be expressed in the same unit. So, kapag yung dimension homogeneity, ibig lang sabihin lang yan, kapag SI yung given, SI units, so dapat yung sagot natin is naka-SI din. No, kapag kumbaga naka-US yung natin, naka-US units din yung natin, no? So, kapag SI, kapag metric din, no? Kumbaga dapat medyo tricky kasi minsan yung ibang instructor, kumbaga binibigyan niya ng naka-pounds, tapos yung unit ng length ay naka-meter, so kailangan mo munang mag-convert. So tayo kapag nagko-compute, dapat we make sure na yung dimensions homogeneity, no, na kung saan ay dapat yung unit is kapag naka-SI, kapag metric, no? So, significant figures. So, the numbers of significant figures contained in any numbers determines the accuracy of the number. So, kumbaga sa significant figures naman, alam niyo naman kung paano yan na nangyayari, no? Pag for significant figures, 3 significant figures, or yung may mga times 10 raised to ganito, ganyan, no? Rounding off of numbers. So rounding off of numbers is necessary so that the accuracy of the results will be the same as that of the problem data. As a general rule, any numerical figure ending in 5 or greater is rounded up and a number less than 5 is rounded down. No, kumbaga, dapat marunong din tayo mag-round off. Kasi minsan may mga, sabi ko nga kanina, may mga professor na medyo tricky. Sa direction pa lang nilalagay nila agad na all solutions must be rounded off into 4 decimal places. So, dapat marunong ka mag-round off into 4 decimal places. No? Kapag 5 above, round up. Kapag below 5, round down tayo. No? Then, calculations. When a sequence of calculations is performed, it is best uh, to store the intermediate results in the calculator in other words, do not round off calculations until expressing the final results. This procedures maintains precision throughout the series of steps of the final solution. So, kumbaga, si calculations sa atin kasi sa pag tayo ay nagko-compute, masyadong medyo mahaba yung kino-compute natin na kung saan ay kapag tayo ay from the start ka pa lang nag-round off papunta dun sa sagot, malaki na yung difference ng ano natin, no? Kumbaga may malaking diferensya. So dapat kapag tayo ay nagko-compute ng mahabaang computations, dapat dun tayo mag-round off sa may dulong part na, no? So dapat marunong din kayo mag-store dyan sa calculator nyo. Kumbaga, explore nyo na din yung calculator ninyo na mag-store dyan. Kung paano mag-store. Okay, so unit conversion lang naman to. So, ito po yung mga basic conversion natin. So, marunong naman kayo. Alam ko naman na pagdadaanan nyo naman to yung conversion sa physics. No? So, ano lang, konting pampagana lang. Let's try sample problems conversion. So, sagutan nyo na lang po yung number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Pero, papakita ko pa rin naman yung solution. No? So, yan. So, number 1, we have here, convert 2 kilometers per hour. Ito, nasa taas. Ito, convert 2 kilometers 2 meter per seconds. How many feet per seconds is this? No? So, number 1. We have here number 1. So, 2 kilometer per hour. So, pag i-convert natin siya into meter per seconds, we all know that 1 kilometer is equivalent kay 1,000 meter and 1 hour is equivalent kay 60 minutes and 1 minute is equivalent kay 60 seconds. So, therefore, kapag kinumpute natin yan, 2 over 1 wala. Dapat pala ay nasa taas yung kilometer, dapat nasa ilalim yung kilometer natin dito. So, we have here 1,000 meter is equivalent kay 1 kilometer. So, lagyan natin sa calculator. 2 times 1,000 over 60 times 60. Therefore, we have here 0.55. So, gawin lang natin siya na 4 decimal places. 5, 6. Ito ay naka-meter per second. Okay. Then, convert lang ulit natin siya into feet per second. So, we have here 0.555 meter per second. We all know that 3.28 feet is equivalent kay 1 meter. No? So, multiply mo lang ng 3.28. Yung sagot mo kanina sa calculator. So, lalabas tayo 1.8222 feet per second. Okay? So, si number 2, we have here convert the quantities 300 pound seconds to kilonewton seconds and 500 and 52 slugs per feet cube to megagram per meter cube. Okay, so si number 2 we have here 300 pounds seconds to kilonewton seconds. So 300 pounds multiplied by 1 kilogram is equivalent kay 2.2 pound. And since naka-kilogram na siya, kailangan lang natin siya i-multiply ng 9.81 meter per second squared, which is the gravitational force, para maging kilonewton, or para maging newton pala, para maging newton siya. So let's multiply this with 9.81 meter per seconds squared. So then sagot na natin dyan is naka-newton. So ang hinahanap natin is kilonewton seconds. So let's divide this with 1 kilonewton is equivalent kay 1,000 newton. So si pounds cancel, yung kilogram meter per second squared is equivalent kay newton, so cancel si newton. Therefore lalabas to ay 1.3377 kilonewton seconds. Then number 2 pa rin, we have here 52 slugs per feet cube to megagram per meter cube. So we all know that 1 slug is equivalent kay 32.2 pounds. So 1 slug is equivalent kay 32.2 pounds, and 1 kilogram is equivalent kay 2.2 pounds, and 1 megagram is equivalent kay 1,000 kilogram. So ito ay naka-slug cancel, pounds cancel, kilogram cancel. So naka-megagram na tayo. Pero itong pound, naka-feet cube pa siya, so kailangan natin siya ay naka-meter cube. So we all know that 3.28 feet is equivalent kay 1 meter. Since naka-cube yun, i-cube mo lang din to, no? So therefore, lalabas ang sagot dyan ay, calculate lang natin, 52 times 32.2 times 3.28 cube all over 2.2 times 1,000 equivalent kay 26.7793 megagram per meter cube, no? Okay, so may iba pang process naman, no? Pwede mong sabihin na 1 slug is equivalent kay 14.594 kilogram, tapos diretso ka na agad dun sa ano. So pareho lang din nung ibibigay na sagot siya, no? Or depende naman yun sa pag ano natin. So ano pala to? Ito yung kapag ginamit natin ay 14.594 kilogram is equivalent kay 1 slug. Pero dito sa computation natin, ang sagot po dyan ay equivalent kay 26.8570 megagram per meter cube, no? So ito po yung sagot natin dyan sa computation. Then ito is based dun sa ganitong conversion, no? So minsan sa conversion lang siya nagkakatalo, pero may mga professor kasi na medyo stricto pagdating sa conversion. So kung ano yung madalas nilang ginagamit, yun dapat yung gamitin niyo. Pero sa akin naman wala namang kahit anong conversion ng nyo, basta tumama yon, magkaiba man yan ng point something or dun sa sa point something sa decimal places, accepted naman siya, no? Okay, so let's proceed to number 3. So erase ko lang. Si number 3, kita na tayo sa next Number 3, we have here convert 1,500 kilogram to newton. So si number 3, 1,500 kilogram to newton. So para maging newton lang to, times mo lang ng 9.81 meter per second squared. So, lalabas to ay 14,715 Newton. No? So, kasi si kilogram meter per second squared is equivalent kay Newton. So, multiply mo lang siya ng 9.81. So, si number 4, we have here, convert 12,000 kilogram force to pounds. So, multiply lang natin siya. 2.2 pound force is equivalent kay 1 kilogram force. So, therefore, lalabas na sagot is 26,400 pound force. So, calculate nyo lang, no? Okay, so number 5. So, let's proceed to number 5. We have here, convert 125 kilonewton per meter squared to pound per inch squared, no? So, meron sa calculator yan. So, naka-kPa to pound per inch squared, no? Pero solve lang natin siya ng mano-mano dito sa video ko para at least ay maano ninyo. So we have here 125 kilonewton per meter squared multiplied by 1 kilonewton is equivalent kay 1,000 newton. Then i-divide ko lang siya sa 9.81 para maging kilogram yung newton natin. 9.81 meter per second squared. So, naka-kilogram na to. Tapos, 1 kilogram is equivalent kay 2.2 pounds. Then, so naka-pounds na po yung sagot natin kasi ito cancel to, magiging kilogram. So, kilogram cancel. So, pounds na po yung sagot natin dito. So, multiplied mo lang para ito ay maging feet squared. So, we have here 1 meter is equivalent kay 3.28 feet squared. Tapos, multiplied by, we all know that 1 foot is equivalent kay 12 inches squared ulit. So, lalabas, sagot dito is equivalent kay 125 times 1,000 times 2.2 all over 9.81 times 3.28 squared times 12 squared. So, lalabas, we have here 18.0948 pounds per inches squared. Ito po yung sagot. Also, kapag tayo ay nag-compute or gumagawa ng assignments or problem sets, make sure na i-box nyo din po yung sagot ninyo, yung final answer. Kasi nga, mahirap para dun sa professor na mag-check ng solution, lalo na kung magulo yung solution, no? So, mas mabuti na naka-box na siya or ibang kulay ang gamit para at least ma-identify or mabilis na tingnan agad ng professor or ng instructor nyo na nag-handle dun sa subject na computations, no? So, let's go back ulit dun sa pinag-uusapan natin. So, ito, sample problems naman tayo, no? Application is scalar and vector naman tayo ngayon, no? So number 1, determine the weight of in newtons of a car whose mass is 1,400 kg. Convert the mass to slugs and then determine its weight in pounds. Tapos number 2, number 3. So isa-isahin natin yan, no? So let's proceed to number 1. So ito, may prepared akong printed na drawing nung car, no? So solution number 1. So let's say we have here determine the weight in newton of the car whose mass is 1,400 kg. Then i-convert lang natin yung mass into slugs, no? At hanggang maging pounds pa rin, no? So we have here solution, number 1. So we have your solution number 1. Wait lang ah. Ayusin ko lang. So solution number 1, we have here weight of a car is equivalent kay, so may mass tayo na 1,400, multiplied lang natin siya ng acceleration due to gravity, which is 9.81, para makakuha tayo ng weight. So we have here mass times acceleration. So weight is equivalent kay 1,400 kilogram multiplied by 9.81 meter per second squared. So we have here weight, which is equivalent kay 13,743 Newton. So ito po yung weight nung car, no? 13,743. So box ulit natin para madaling ma-identify ng professor pag nag-check. Then, isa pang question is convert daw yung mass of a car to slugs. So i-convert lang natin siya into slugs. So we have here mass, which is equivalent kay 1,400 kilogram into slugs. So we all know that one slug is equivalent kay 14.594 kilogram. So we have here mass in slugs, which is equivalent kay, calculate natin, 1,400 divided by 14.594. So we have here 95.9298. 9298 slugs. Then, box ulit natin yung sagot. Then, pangatlong question, i-convert ulit natin siya into weight in pounds. So we have here weight is equivalent kay mass times acceleration ulit. So we have here weight is equivalent kay weight, which is equivalent kay 1,400 kilogram to pounds natin. So we have here 1,400 kilogram multiplied by 1 kilogram is equivalent kay 2.2 pounds. Therefore, lalabas to ay weight natin is equivalent kay 3,080 pounds. No? Okay. So, dito sa problem na to, pwede rin natin gamitin yung formula na F is equivalent kay G M E M A all over R squared. No? So we have here G, the gravitational force, which is 6.6 or 66.73 times 10 raised to negative 12. Yung mass ng Earth is based dun sa table na binigay ko, which is equivalent kay 5.976 times 10 raised to 24. So isulat ko na lang para kita nyo. So we have here 66.73 times 10 raised to negative 12 multiplied by mass ng Earth is equivalent kay 5.976 times 10 raised to 24. Then yung sasakyan, mass ng sasakyan, which is equivalent kay 1,400 all over yung R. Ang R natin is the distance or yung natin, which is 6,371 times 10 raised to 3 squared. So lalabas yan ay 13754. 13754.4915 Newton. So kumbaga malaki yung difference niya, no? So pero yun nga, ito man yung sagot mo or ito, pareho lang para sa akin, no? Kumbaga parehong tama yun, no? Kasi kumbaga ito pinagsama mo at ito, lalabas siya 9.81 din yan, no? So Mas pinamadali lang nito, no? Okay, so let's continue. Problem number 2. Ang problem number 2 ay, what is the mass in both slugs and uh, kilogram of a 300-pound car? So, same lang nung kanina. So, i-convert lang natin siya into into kilogram at saka into slugs, no? So, we have here number 2. So, we have here 3,000 pounds na sasakyan. So, first, i-convert muna natin siya into slugs. Okay, so we have here 3,000 pounds multiplied by 1 slug is equivalent kay 32.2 pounds. Therefore, pounds cancel. So, lalabas na ay 93 point, calculate natin, 3,000 divide 32.2. So, we have here 93.1677 slugs. Tapos, box ulit natin yung answer para madaling makita ni Professor. Then, yung pangalawang conversion, which is to kilogram, we have here 3,000 pounds. Then, we have here 1 kilogram is equivalent kay 2.2 pounds. Okay, so lalabas 3,000 divided by 2.2. So, we have here 1,363.63636. So pwede na natin siya i-round up. 6,364 kilogram. Okay. So, yan po yung sagot sa number 2. Then, let's proceed to number 3. For the vectors v1 and v2 shown in the figure, determine the magnitude of the vectors sum v1 and v2. So, meron akong prepared na printed drawing ulit. No? So, erase ko lang to para at least ay medyo makapag-solve tayo ng maayos, no? Okay, so we have here the drawing. And first question is determine the magnitude S of their vectors sum v1 plus v2. Kumbaga, pagsasamahin natin itong v1 and v2. So, sabi ko nga kanina, parallelogram law. So, pwede natin ito i-transfer dito at ito i-transfer doon. Tapos, kung ano yung diagonals, yun po yung mabubuo natin na vectors or na S, no? Or yung sum ng dalawang vectors. So, ito. I-ano lang natin siya. So, gawa lang tayo ng another, syempre, parallelogram, dapat ito is parallel dun sa kabila. So, gawa lang tayo ng drawing pa ganyan. Tapos ito, pupunta din doon, parallel din. So, isipin nyo na lang na parallel para ito. Then, the combination of the two, the combination ng dalawa is malamang is itong nanditong part. No? Ito na yan. Ito si S. Ito yung S na hinihingi. No? So, para ma-compute si S, so, pwede natin sabihin or pwede natin gamitin yung application ni sine law at saka cosine law. So, kumbaga yung knowledge natin dun sa trigonometry, no, sa triangles is need dito, no? Sabi nga kanina, si statics si engineering mechanics is yung studies of application of forces study of forces with application of engineering. So, kumbaga, yung mathematics natin is apply natin dito, no? So, magagamit natin dito is si sine law, si cosine law, no? So, let's identify first kung ano yung mga needed natin na value dyan. So, dito, meron tayong 30 degrees dito, 45 degrees. So, pwede kong kunin yung angle dito. So, kung ito ay 45 degrees, pwede kong sabihin ito ay 45 degrees din to. Tama? Then, dito, 45 degrees din to. So, pag naglagay ako ng vertical dito, I have 45 degrees din dito. Tama? Then, ito is parallel dito. So, kung makukuha ko yung angle dito, which is 90 degrees minus 30, we have here, 90 minus 30, we have here 60 degrees. So, itong 60 degrees, ililipat ko doon. So, may 60 degrees ako. Therefore, yung angle dito at angle doon ay pareho. Lalabas to ay 105 degrees. Tama? Okay. So, ngayon, kung may angle ako dito, tama bang ito is equivalent kay 3 units? Ito, which is 4 units. So, lalabas to 4 units. So, meron akong triangle na to. So, lalabas, we have here S squared is equivalent kay ito, 3 squared plus ito, 4 squared minus 2 times 3 times 4 cosine ito, tama? Cosine law. Cosine 105 degrees. Therefore, we have here S is equivalent kay, lagyan nyo lang sa calculator yan, lalabas, square root ni 3 squared plus 4 squared minus 2 times 3 times 4 cosine 105 degrees equivalent kay 5.5867 units. Okay. So, ito po yung sagot natin para dyan sa problem na yan. No? Sa letter A. Para sa letter A. Number 3, letter A. Then, letter B, determine the angle between S and the positive x-axis. So, pinapahanap daw yung angle between S and positive x-axis. So, itong angle na ito ang pinapahanap po. Okay. So, para po mahanap yan, pwede nating sabihin na pwede tayong gumamit ng cosine law. No? Sine law pala, ng sine law. So, pwede nating sabihin si S, ito, si S, which is S all over angle nito, sine 105 degrees is equivalent kay ito, 4, tapos yung angle na tong buo. Tama? Okay. So, lalabas na ay 4 sine angle. Sabihin natin to ay si alpha. Okay? So, lalabas, we have here sine 30 plus alpha. Kasi nga, itong buong angle na to is 30 plus alpha. So, makukuha na natin yung value ni alpha. So, lalabas, we have here S is equivalent kay 5.867. So, lalabas, we have here 5.5867 over sine 105 degrees equals, yung equals ay alpha calc para lumabas yung equals, tapos 4 all over sine 30 plus alpha. Shift solve, lalabas si angle which is 13.7 5606. So, sabihin natin ano lang, 2 decimal places, 776 degrees. So, yan po yung sagot para dun sa letter C. Okay. So, let's proceed to letter A, letter B. So, let's proceed with letter C. So, write S as a vector in terms of the unit weight, in terms of the unit vectors I and J, and then write the unit vectors N along the vectors sum S. No? So, kumbaga, pinapahanap dito yung may yung S na naka I and J tayo. No? So, madali na naman siya. So, lagay lang natin siya. Yung S, para makuha natin yung I and J, so we have here S prime, sabihin natin S prime ha, is equivalent kay S times, kung ito yon, para makuha natin, ito kasi si I, at ito si J. So, para makuha natin itong value na to, lagyan ko ng ibang kulay. So, para makuha natin yung value na to, ito, yung component nito. So, tama bang yan ay cosine? So, cosine nito, para, di ba, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse. So, makukuha natin itong nandyan. So, we can say na yan ay cosine, cosine alpha. Cosine alpha. Plus, since pa ganun, plus yun, since pataas to, plus din po yun. So, si J, para makuha natin yung J, di ba ito yung J? Ito yung J. So, pag tinranspose natin yan, dito yung J. So, kapag dito yan, so lalabas, sine tayo. Opposite over hypotenuse. No, opposite over hypotenuse. So, we have here J sine alpha. Then, we have here S. Dito ba? S prime is equivalent kay S, which is ito, 5.867 multiplied by I cosine alpha. Ang alpha natin ay ito, 13.76 plus J sine 13.76. So, we have here S prime is equivalent kay ito, multiplied nun. So, 5.5867 sine, cosine pala, cosine 13.76. Lalabas po si 5.4263. 4264 pa. 264. 264i plus ito multiply doon. So we have here 5.867 sine 13.76. So we have here 1.3288. 3288J. So lalabas yung S prime natin is in terms of I and J na. Tapos sabi dito, sa question ito, then write a unit vector n along the vectors sum S. No? So kumbaga, n is equivalent kay S prime all over S. Para makuha lang talaga natin yung value ng I. So we have here 5.4264i plus 1.3288j all over S, which is 5.5867. So we have here 5.4264 divided by 5.5867. So we have here n is equivalent to 0.9713i plus 1.3288 divided by 5.5867. So we have here plus 0.2379j. So ito po yung value ni n na hinihingi po dun sa problem natin, no? Then the last number, last letter pala, letter D, determine the vector difference D is equivalent kay V1 minus V2. Okay, so kumbaga V1 minus V2, so si V2, ito yung V2 kasi, doon sa drawing, V2, nag-change lang po yan ng direction. So, ngayon, papunta na siya dito sa pag-anan, no? So, ano ko na lang pwedeng sabihin natin na ito, napunta dito. Ito yung line of action niya na, no? Ito yung magiging bagong V2. Then, ngayon, magpo-project ka ulit ng ito, papunta doon, para makapag-produce ka ng bagong value, which is yung D na hinahanap talaga. So, i-drawing ko lang ulit para So, yung combination nitong V1 and V2, which is V1 minus V2, ay ito po yung mabubuo natin na value, which is equivalent kay D, no? Okay. So, pupurahin ko lang to. Tatakpan na lang natin para... Okay. So, ito na yung magiging drawing natin, ha. So, lalabas yan. We have here, kung ito ay 30 degrees, ito din ay 30 degrees. Tama? Then, kung ito ay 45, so 45 pa rin naman siya. So, pwede nating sabihin, ang formula na gagamitin natin ay isang parang ganito. Ganyan na siya. So, we have here, D is equivalent kay V1 times, pag V1 ka, ito, V1, diba, i-component lang natin tong V1, which is pag ganito, vertical and horizontal. So, lalabas, we have here, I cosine 45, ito, si V1 ay ito, diba? Magkano, nakikita niyo po sa drawing, masyado na magalo. Kung ito ay V1, para makuha natin yung I component, so V1 ito, hypotenuse, so we have here cosine 45 kasi nga adjacent, to adjacent natin to, no? Tapos plus J sine 45. Plus yan kasi puro pa ganyan at pataas. So we assume na left going to the right is positive, going up is positive, going down is negative, going to the left is negative tayo. So ngayon, ito ay V1 pa lang yon, no? Itong component lang nito yon. Plus minus pala. Minus V2. Yung V2 natin is component, no? Pag ganito. So pwede natin sabihin niya na V2 times I cosine 30 naman siya. Kasi nga, yung component ito ay cosine, tama ba? Plus, minus J sine 30 degrees. Okay. Or pwede mo siyang isulat na positive to, since ito I is negative pag ganon, going to the left, so negative siya, negative. Tapos itong J is pataas siya, kasi nga kapag ganito yung arrow natin, di ba pag kinumponent natin yan na ito, at itong nandito. So ito is, kung ito ay x cosine theta, ito theta. Tapos yung ito is y sine theta. So ito rin yun. So ito magiging positive to, no? Pero plus yun, no? Pero yun nga, nung dun sa problem kasi is minus, so ito yung magiging minus. Then pag minultiply mo to doon, magiging positive na to, dapat. Kasi malito kayo positive. Tapos ito magiging negative na siya, no? Distributed na agad yung ano. So ito, lagyan na lang natin yung value. We have here D. Ang V1 natin is equivalent kay 4 times I cosine 45 plus J sine 45 minus V2. Ang V2 natin ay ito, which is equivalent kay 3. So minus 3 times I cosine 30 minus J sine 30. Okay, so algebra, pagsamahin yung like terms, so we have here D is equivalent kay, ayan, sa calculator na, 4 cosine 45, so 4 times cosine 45, minus nito, minus 3 cosine 30. Nalabas, we have here 0.2304i. Tapos ito, pagsamahin natin to, 4 sine 45 minus 3 negative sine 45 times, magiging plus na yan, plus sine plus 3 sine 30. Nalabas plus 4.3284J. Therefore, the answer will be D is equivalent kay 0.2304I plus 4.3284J. No? So, yun po yung sagot dyan sa problem na yan. Okay, let's proceed ulit. So, we have here problem number 4, 5, and problem number 6. So, babasa nyo pa naman siguro yan to. So, we have here, determine the angles made by the vectors V, tapos determine the magnitude with the sum, tapos for given vectors V1, V2. So, solve na lang po natin para mas mag-gets ninyo. Okay. So, erase lang ulit ako. So, let's have problem number 4. Determine the angles made by the vector V, which is equivalent kay 40i minus po ata yan, 40i minus 30j. 40i minus 30j. Paki-double check na lang po. 40i minus to. Minus 30j with the positive x and y axis. Write the unit vector n in the direction of v. No? Okay. Solution number 4. Solution number 4. Okay, so we have here given na vector which is equivalent kay 40i minus 30j. Okay, so let's have Cartesian plane. So ito ay positive, positive, negative, positive, negative, negative, and positive, negative. So therefore, ito ay dito mapupunta, no? So kung meron tayong 40i, ito yung I, ito yung J. So we have here, assume lang natin 1, 2, 3, 4. So ito ay 40 agad. Tapos J, which is 31, 2, 3. So pagtamaan nyo lang po yan, dito yon yung point. Therefore, we have here yung V, which is equivalent kay 40i minus 30j. No? Ang pinapahanap po dyan ay yung angle from x-axis. Ito yung x-axis natin. X-axis pala. Axis. At ito yung y-axis natin. Okay. So, pinapahanap ito. Sabihin natin ito si theta x. Then ito ay si theta y. Okay? So, let's proceed. So, we have here, kung ito ay 40 at 30 pala to, ito ay 40, tama? So, we can say na tangent theta is opposite over adjacent. Tangent theta x is opposite, which is 30, over adjacent side, which is 40. So, si theta x is equivalent kay 36.87 degrees. Okay? Then, para makuha natin si theta y, so yung angle y is equivalent kay 90 degrees plus theta x. Therefore, we have here theta y is equivalent kay 90 plus 36.87. We have here theta y is equivalent kay 126.87 degrees. So, ito ay box na natin para makita agad yung final answer natin. Okay? Then, pinapahanap din yung last question, write the unit vector n in the direction of v. So, yung n kanina, di ba? N is equivalent kay s prime all over s. Yung s prime natin is yung may j and I. So, si s is equivalent, s prime natin is 40i minus 30j. Pero ano si s? Si s is equivalent kay yung s kasi yung kabuuan, di ba? So, makakompute natin yung s gamit yung square root ni 40 squared plus 30 squared. So, s is equivalent kay 50. Kumbaga, yung s is yung hypotenuse value nito, pero hindi siya naka in terms of I and J. Pero yung I and J kasi is yung kumbaga naka-axis pa siya. So kung ito yung 40i, ito yung 30j natin. So pag kunin natin yung actual na value na to, ito yun, 50, no? So square root of 40 squared plus 30 squared, magic triangle yan. So 50. So lalabas, we have here 50. So n is equivalent kay 40 divided 50 is 0.8 pi. Tapos negative 30 over 50 is 0.60 J. Ito po yung sagot dyan sa katanungan number 4. Okay? Okay, let's proceed to problem number 5. Problem number 5 is halos same lang siya nung kaninang kinompute natin, no? Pero susolve pa rin natin siya para, sabi nga nila, sa engineering kasi, given, kapag magaling ka sa math, maswerte ka. Pero kapag hindi ka magaling sa math, kailangan mo mag-strive, no? Mag-strive or maghabol, no? Sana all nahabol. So, kailangan mo maghabol. So, mag-solve ka ng maraming problem hanggang sa maintindihan mo at maunawaan mo yung mga problems, no? So, sana all naunawa. Okay. So, number 5. Determine the magnitude of the vector sum V is equivalent kay V1 plus V2 and the angle X and Y, X, and the angle X which V makes with the positive X-axis complete both graphical and algebraic solutions. So, ito. May figure ulit ako. Hanapin ko lang yung drawing. Ito ulit. Tara yan. So, ayan. So, may drawing ulit ako. Pinapahanap po yung V1 plus V2. So, ito yung V1, V2. So, hahanapin ulit yung V. So, once again, si graphical solutions kasi, kapag ito ay scale din to. So, makukompute mo siya. Pero hindi naman to naka-scale kasi sa drawing lang to. Print ko lang siya. So, hindi natin makukompute siya as graphical. So, makukompute lang natin siya as algebraic solution, no? So, pero kung gusto nyo i-graph nyo ng maayos yung problem. Tapos, compute mo. Kung ito ay 10, bilangin mo lang 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kung 10 yan, tapos dito, dapat saktong 12 din. Tapos yung angle, dapat nagamitan nyo ng protractor para exact yung value. Tapos, kung ano yung tatamaan, isukatin nyo lang ng ruler, lalabas yung sagot, no? Pero yun nga, hindi naman natin magagawa yun dito kasi nga, hindi naman siya naka-graphing paper. So, let's try yung parallelogram method ulit. So, parallel lang dito sa side na to. Tapos, ito, ganun din. Ito, ilipat ko dun sa kabila. Ito, karoon ito ang parallel. Therefore, ito yung pinapahanap na value ni V. Ito po yung V, which is V1 plus V2. Okay? So, let's continue. So, itong angle na to is magic triangle. So, ito ay 5. Tama? So, pwede natin sabihin, para makuha natin yung angle na to is tangent, arctan, 3 over 4. So, lalabas 36.869. Gawin lang natin 2 decimal places. So, ito ang angle na to ay 36.87. 36.87 degrees. Okay? Then, we have here, kung ito ay 12, so malamang ito ay 12. No? Tapos ito ay 10. Tama? Okay. Then, pinapahanap po is yung angle. So, we have here, ito, kung ito ay 36.67, so, lalagay lang ulit ako ng another horizontal line dito. Ito ay 36, ito rin ay 36, tama? 36.87 din yan. Tapos, yung angle na to, papunta doon, tama ba kita yung 60? So, lalabas tayo 60. So, yung kabuoang angle na yan ito is equivalent kay 60 plus 36.87. So, lalabas yan ay 96.87. So, angle na to ay 96.87 degrees. Okay. So, ito rin po yung dito. Tama? So, ngayon, para makompute natin si V, V squared is equivalent kay cosine law ulit, 12 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 12, kita pa ba sa times 10 cosine 96.87 degrees. Okay? So, lalabas, we have here V is equivalent kay square root ng 12 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12 cosine 96.87. So, lalabas yan ay 16.5139 units. Units pa. So, walang ano. Tapos, box. Okay? Then, para makuha natin yung angle, pinapahanap po is and the angle x which V makes with the positive x-axis. So, si x-axis ay ito. Tapos, ito yung V. So, pinapahanap po itong angle na to. Okay? So, para mahanap po yan, another ano tayo ulit, sine law. So, si sine law, we have here itong V, tapos ito, angle na to. So, we have here 16.5139 all over angle, which is sine 96.87 is equivalent kay itong 12 na to, multiplied nito dito. Tama? So, we have here 12 all over, sabihin ko ito ay theta 1. Theta 1. Okay, therefore, theta 1 is equivalent kay 12 sine 96.87 all over 16.5139 equals 12 sine 96.87 over sine pa to. Sine theta 1 all over 7 arc sine answer. We have here 46.1738 degrees. Yung theta 1 is itong angle lang na to, di ba? Ito lang yan eh. So, ang pinapahanap kasi is from the x-axis. So, itong buong tong ang hinahanap. So, lalabas theta x is equivalent kay 36.87 plus theta 1. So, theta x is equivalent kay, pagsamahin nyo lang po, plus 36.87 plus 46.1738. So, lalabas po yan ay 83.0438 degrees. Ito po yung sagot. Okay. So, let's proceed with number 6. Problem number 6. For the given vectors ulit, kabaliktaran naman po yung gagamitin natin. Okay. Kung kanina V1 plus V2, ngayon naman V2 minus V1. No? Okay. So, kung ito si V2, so positive pa rin siya, hindi siya magbabago ng location. Ang magbabago po dito ay ito. Ang magbabago po ay itong V1. So, ito, naging negative na po siya. So, yung location nito is magbabago pa pag ganito. No? Ibablock ko na lang ulit siya para ibang itsura. So, ito yung para sa problem number 6. Ito ay si V1. Tapos, ang arrowhead niya is pag ganyan na siya. No? So, gawa ulit tayo ng parallelogram para makita natin yung computation ng maayos. Drawing ko lang ha. Mixian ko lang para kasya pa siya sa coupon. Okay. Ngayon, ito na yung magiging, ano natin, another V. Velocity. Ito ay V2, ito ay V1. Then ito ay V2 ulit, ito ay V1. No? So, ulit, yung angle dito is pareho pa rin nandito. Tama? So, ito ay magiging 36.87 degrees pa rin. Ito. 36.87 degrees pa rin. Then, so para makuha natin to ulit, so gawa ulit ako ng horizontal line dito. Horizontal line. So kung ito ay 36, ito ay 36 din, tama ba? 36 din to, 36.87 degrees. Tapos itong angle na to is 60, tama? So pag nilipat ko yan dito, ito pala, itong dito is 60. So pag nilipat ko po yan dito, lalabas tayo 60. So lalabas, tama bang itong buhay 180. So makukuha ko yung itong value dito. So, ang lalabasan po niyan ay ito. So we have here 180 minus 60 minus 36.87 equals 83.13. So we have here 83.13 degrees. Okay? Then, ganoon ulit, triangle ulit ito. Tapos, cosine law. No? Okay, solve na lang natin na. Hindi na ako magsusulat. So, solution number 6. So, si number 6, so we have here V squared is equivalent kay ulit 12 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 12 times 10 cosine angle, which is 83.13. So, V is equivalent kay square root ng 12 squared plus 10 squared minus minus 2 times 12 times 10 cosine 83.13. Okay, so lalabas we have here 14.6728 units. Yan po yung value ni V. Then, hahanapin ulit natin yung angle papunta sa X. So, we have here, ito. So, si positive X ay nandito galing, tama ba? Pinapahanap po ay itong angle na to. Kita nyo? Ito, papunta dito ang pinapahanap na angle. Okay, pero syempre, makakompute natin na ito. Tapos, minus na lang po natin sa 180, no? Okay, so, let's say ulit, sine law, ulit tayo. Sabihin ko ito ay si theta 1 ulit. So, we have here sine law, yung value ni V, which is 14.6728 all over sine ito, sine 83.13 is equivalent kay, yung katapat nito is si V2. Ang V2 ay 12 all over ang sine ito plus nito, tama? 36.87 plus theta 1. Therefore, theta 1 is equivalent kay, shift solve nyo lang po sa calculator, lalabas by 17.4186 degrees. Then, lalabas si theta x positive is equivalent kay 180 minus 17.4186 6 degrees. Theta x is equivalent kay 162.5814 degrees. Ito po yung another answer para sa number 6. Okay. May tanong kayo? Di ba hindi kayo makapagtanong? Kasi ito ay video lang. So, pero pwede naman kayo magtanong. So through chat, no? Mag-comment na lang kayo dun sa YouTube channel, no? Para masagot natin yung mga katanungan ninyo. Okay. So, let's proceed to another problem. May isang po ata akong problem dito eh. So, yan. So, we have here number 7, number 8, number 9. Raise ko lang ulit. So, a force is specified by the vector F, which is equivalent kay 120I minus 160J plus 80K pounds. Calculate the angles made by F, which is with the positive X, Y, and Z axis. Okay. So, i-drawing ko muna siya para at least ma-visualize ninyo kung ano yung pinagsasabi dyan sa problem, no? Kasi sa problem kasi sa statics or sa dapat marunong din kayo mag-imagine or sa lahat naman ng problem ng math at saka ng dapat marunong tayo mag-imagine or mag-draw ng figure, no? Pero yan kasi walang figure, so i-drawing muna lang siya. Solution number 7. Okay. So, since meron tayong I, J, and K, it means na naka 3D or naka 3 dimensions yung natin, yung problem, no? Drawing ko lang muna siya para makita ninyo. Y-axis. X-axis. Z-axis. Ito ay si K, ito ay si I, tapos ito ay si J. Okay? So sabi dyan, meron tayong 120I, 160J, and 80K. So, up is positive, down is negative, right is positive, left is positive, negative, forward is positive, backward is negative. So, dyan sa problem na yan, we have here I. Ang I natin is 120. So, ibig sabihin going to the right tayo. So, sabihin natin to ay, assume natin to. So, 5, 10, 15 to. So, kung 15 yan, sa 120 or 120, so 15, 50, 100, 150. So, we have here 120 nasa dito part lang yan. No? So, itong part na to. Tapos, we have here Y, which is yung J, which is 160. So, negative 160 siya. So, going down yun. No? So, we have here 50, 100, 150. So, nandito lang yung 160. Tama? Ay, bublo natin. Tapos, si K, which is equivalent kay 80, so ibig sabihin forward siya, papunta dito, forward. We have here 80. So, ito sabihin ko ay 50, 100, so nandito siyang part. So, drawing lang natin siya para mas makita natin. At ng vertical. So, yan. So, from dito, hanggang ditong point po yun. No? Ay, imagine nyo na rin siguro yung drawing. No? Makikita nyo na masyado. Using ko lang na maayos. So, we have here the value, which is, ito. From dito, point to ditong point. Ito po yung binabanggit na V is equivalent kay F pala. F is equivalent kay 120i minus 160j plus 80k in pounds. No? So, ang pinapahanap po is yung mga angle, no? Ano yung angle na nabuo from this point to this point? Sasabihin ko yan ay theta y. From this point to this point is theta x, and from this point to this point is si theta z, no? Pero syempre, ang makukompute natin dyan is yung mga angle sa ilalim. So, lalabas, ma-minus-minus na lang po natin yan, no? Okay. So, sagutan natin siya. Let's say, itong kabuuan na to is F is equivalent kay square root ni 120 squared plus 160 squared plus 80 squared. Naging positive na siya kasi nga, kahit naman i-negative ko yan, mga ganyan, magiging positive pa rin naman siya. No? Hindi ata masyadong makita saan. Lakayan ko ng konti na. So, we have here F is equivalent kay square root ni 120 squared plus 160 squared plus 80 squared. Therefore, F is equivalent kay square root ni 120 squared plus 160 squared plus 80 squared. We have here 215.4066 pounds. Okay? Then, ngayon, makakapag-compute tayo. So, kung itong kabuuan na to is itong buong length na to, no? So, ngayon, kukumpute natin yung angle. So, let's say, theta x prime. Theta x prime. Muna tayo. So, si theta x prime, itong dito, is yung angle from dito sa ilalim, papunta dun sa ano, no? Kumbaga ito, papunta dito. Yun yung angle na yun. So, lalabas, we have here, sine theta x prime is equivalent kay 120. Yung 120 is yung x value, 120 over nitong f natin. Over 215.4066. So, theta x prime is equivalent kay 120 divided by 215.4066 equals 33.8545 degrees. Then, kung ito yung si theta x yung dito sa ilalim natin, so lalabas 90 lang minus itong nandito, no? So, theta x natin na actual na hinihingi talaga is 90 minus theta x prime. Therefore, theta x is equivalent kay ito minus ito, 90 minus answer. We have here 56.1455 degrees. Ito po yung angle from positive x-axis. Okay. Ngayon, si theta y prime naman tayo. So, si theta y prime is equivalent kay sine theta, basa mo ba? Theta y prime is equivalent kay, yung y natin is 160. So, 160 all over 215.4066. So, si theta y prime is equivalent kay arc sine 163 all over 215.4066. We have here 47.9690 degrees. So therefore, yung theta x is from dito to point na dito. So lalabas dyan is equivalent kay para makuha yung angle is 90 plus naman siya. Theta y is equivalent to 90 plus theta y prime. So, theta y is equivalent kay 137.969 degrees. Okay. Then, para naman kay theta z prime is equivalent kay sin theta z prime is equivalent kay 80 all over 215.4066. Theta z is equivalent kay arc sine 80 all over 215.4066. We have here 21.8014 degrees. Therefore, si theta z is equivalent kay 90 ulit minus theta z prime. Therefore, theta z is equivalent kay 90 minus answer. We have here 68.1986 degrees. Ito po yung sagot. Okay. Okay. Yan po yung sagot para sa problem number 7. Okay. So, let's proceed with problem number 8. Problem number 8. Determine the weight in newtons of a woman whose weight in pounds is 130. Also, find the mass in slugs and in kilograms. So, parang kagaya lang siya nung kaninang unang mga problem, which is conversion lang. No? So, pero solve pa rin natin para dito na sa kabila erase ko lang yung nakasulat. Okay. So, let's proceed with problem number 8. So, solution number 8 tayo. Solution number 8. Okay, so we have here, determine the weight in newtons of a woman whose weight is 130 pounds. So, may weight tayo na 130 pounds. Then, also find her mass in slugs and in kilogram. Determine your own weight in newtons. So, pinapaconvert lang naman siya. No? So, we have here, weight is equivalent kay 130 pounds multiplied by 1 kilogram all over 2.2 pounds is times 9.81 para maging Newton, no? Yung unang question, naka-Newton to. Determine the weight in newtons, no? So we have here weight is equivalent kay calcu 130 times 9.81 divided by 2.2. So therefore, lalabas yan ay 579.6818 Newton. Okay. Pangalawang question, weight in, mass in slugs. So, mass, which is 130 pounds, multiplied by 1 slug is 32.2 pounds ulit. Therefore, equivalent dyan kay 130 over 32.2. So, meron tayong 4.0373 grams. Yan sagot. Then, yung pangatlo, convert ulit natin into kilogram. So, we have here mass is equivalent kay 130 pounds. So, ito lang, kopyan mo lang yan. 1 kilogram all over 2.2 pounds. Therefore, may sagot tayo na 59.130 divided 2.2. 59.0909 kilogram. Yan. Then, yung last questions, determine your own weight in newtons. So, ako ay nagwe-weight ng 85 kilograms. Bigat, di ba? 85. So, multiply mo lang siya ng 9.81 para maging weight na newton. So, kung 85 times 9.81, therefore, I have 833.85 newton weight, no? So kumbaga, kapag ako ay magiging force or load sa isang building, ang equivalent value ko ay 833.85 newton, no? Okay. So problem number 9 ulit tayo. Solution number 9. Okay, question number 9. The uniform steel and titanium sphere are positioned as shown. Determine the magnitude and small gravitational force of mutual attractions if R is equivalent kay 50. So, meron ulit akong prepared drawings. So, given naman yung mga characteristics, physical characteristics, which is ito. No? So, may density yung steels na 7,830 kg per meter cube and 3,080 kg per titanium. Okay. So, para makuha natin yung pinapahanap po, di ba meron tayong formula F is equivalent kay GE M E M A over R squared, or equivalent yan kay GE mas 1 mas 2 all over R squared. Pero yung R squared is yung distance, tama? Okay. So, meron tayong weight, density ng steel dito. So, si density which is equivalent kay 7, 8, 30 kilogram per meter cube. Ito ay 30, 80 kilogram meter cube. Okay, tama bang si density is mass over volume? Density is mass over volume. So, para makuha natin yung mass ng steel is equivalent kay yung density times yung volume. So, si density, volume, tama? Mass of steel is equivalent kay density, which is 7, 8, 30 kilogram per meter cube times yung volume ng sphere. Volume ng sphere natin ay 4/3 pi r cube. Ang r natin ay equivalent kay 50. 50 siya. So, lalabas, i-convert ko na siya into meters, no? So, kung 0.05 cube. So, lalabas, ms is equivalent kay 4.0998 kilogram. Then, para sa mass of titanium is equivalent kay 3080 times yung volume, which is 4 over 3 pi. R niya is R over 2. So, lalabas siya na 0.025 cube. So, lalabas, mass ng titanium is equivalent kay 0.2016 kilogram. Okay. Tapos, itong mass ilagay lang dito. Okay. So, lalabas, meron tayong GE, which is constant gravitational, 6.673 times 10 raised to negative 11, or 66.73 times 10 raised to negative 12, multiplied by 4.0998 times 0.216 all over r, which is itong distance na to, 4r, 4 times 0.050 squared. Therefore, force is equivalent kay, pag kinagyan natin yan, 6.673 times 10 raised to negative 11 times 4.0998 times 0 times 0.2016 all over 4 times 0.05 quantity square. So we have here 1.3788 times 10 raised to 9 Newton. Ito po yung F na hinahanap po dyan sa question, no? So, yun yung magnitude ng gravitational force na paghihilahan ng dalawang bagay, si steel at si titanium. Okay? Okay, let's proceed with another. So, problem number 10 na tayo. So, si solution number 10 na lang to. Solution number 10, we have here, compute the magnitude F of the force which the Earth exerts on the moon, performs the calculations first newtons and then convert your result to pounds. Refer to the following physical quantities. So, meron tayong physical quantities na to. So, kailangan lang natin siyang i-solve. Okay, so ganun pa rin nung kanina, F is equivalent kay GE, mass of Earth, mass of another body or mass of moon, over R squared. Okay, so F is equivalent kay 6.673 times 10 raised to negative 11. ME is yung mass of Earth, which is ito, 5.976 times 10 raised to 24 times MM, which is yung mass of moon, 7.35 times 10 raised to 22 all over R, which is yung distance ng moon to Earth is 384,400,000. Actually, dun sa problem, sa libro ko lang to kasi kinuha. Sa problem dun sa book, wala to, hindi to given. Pinag-search ko pa yan sa internet para lang Pero yung hinanap ko kasi yung sagot kasi is hindi ko makukuha kasi yung mga values ko. So, hinanap ko muna sa internet yung value ng yung mass ng Earth, mass ng Moon, tsaka yung distance, no? So, nilagay ko na lang siya sa problem para diretso tayo solve. So, F is equivalent kay 1.984 times 10 raised to 20 Newton. So, ito po yung unang sagot. Then, sabi dun sa pangalawang question, i-convert daw natin yung result into pounds. So, lagay lang natin. F, which is 1.984 times 10 raised to 20. So, Newton to, times 1 kilogram divided by 9.81 meter per second squared, times 1 kilogram is equivalent kay 2.2 pounds. Therefore, F is equivalent kay 4.448 times 10 raised to 19 pounds. So, yun po yung sagot para dun sa problem number 10. Okay? So, yung reference natin is Engineering Mechanics Statics 7th edition by J.L. Miriam and Kriage, no? So, na-download naman siya sa internet, hanapin nyo lang, no? Yung mga problem doon. Tsaka malay nyo, yung mga binigay kong sample is binigay din na exam ng professor nyo or another dagdag kaalaman lang at dagdag exercise sa inyo, no? So I do hope na ah, nakinig kayo, no? Nakinig at tsaka natuto kayo dun sa discussion ko dito sa video na 'to. And I do hope na magustuhan ninyo at tsaka paki-subscribe na lang din po yung YouTube channel ko. Sayang din po yung subscriber eh, no? So sana na may natutunan kayo dun sa lecture 1 ko. Then yung lecture 2 is coming soon din po yun. Naka-prepare na din yung materials ko. So I do hope na may natutunan kayo sa subjects, no? Uh, I am Engineer Raymond J. Severo signing off dito sa video na to, no?